Hare भगवान की एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सुत श्री श्रीमदेसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रीला प्रभुपाद की नित्यानंद पौंडराचार्य श्रीला प्रभुपाद की विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सुत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रीला प्रभुपाद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। गंगा मई की जय। यमुना मई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya.
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासुरी गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा महामंत्र की जय। शील प्रभुपाद की जय।
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you again for joining our weekly satsang. Last week we didn't have here, right? Where was it? Manit Prabhu's place. It was a wonderful program. DT's first anniversary. You know the DT name? Nitai Nadia Chandra. Thank you. Nitai Nadia Chandra. Yeah. So it was a wonderful program. Madan Gopal Prabhu led the program. Nice kirtan, nice class. So those who have missed it, I have sent the recording. Please see that on YouTube. So today we have our very special senior guest with us. You all know him very well. We'll hear Srimad Bhagavatam from him. Do you know what verse is it? Shyamataji?
1315.
Quiz for them.
Canto 1, Chapter 3.
He revealed the secret. So please open up your phones so we can recite the verses. It's Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, third chapter, and verse number?
I think it's 14.
15.
15. Yeah, one.
Okay. So before that, I would like to introduce this Gokulananda Prabhu. Everyone knows, but many of them are online also. So they also know him very well, but it's my pleasure to talk about him. His Grace Gokulananda Prabhu is an initiated disciple of His Grace Kratu Maharaj and has been practicing Krishna conscious since 1984. So that's about 32 years, right? More than that. He became active life member at ISKCON Tobacco Temple, and then he became life member at Philadelphia in 2004. He got initiated in the year 2015 at ISKCON Philadelphia. He has been very active congregation member along with his family at ISKCON Philly, serving in various roles such as Sunday feast cooking, organizing festivals, actively participating in Rath Yatra. He also has attended Bhakti Shastri course, Srimad Bhagavatam course, and has given several discourses online and at Bensalem Bhakti Vriksha, that is our cultural center. So he got second initiation in the year 2024 June from His Grace Kratu Maharaj. So let's all welcome him by loudly chanting 3 times Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you very much, Prabhu. In a very short notice, he agreed to give discourse today. Thank you.
I'm not too much familiar with this. Voice not charged. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, friends. I know it's a nasty weather, so it's good at least those who are seriously interested, they're all here. And other friends are already on the online. Let's start with Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tatanti Swapadantikam O Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataruvasya Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Obeisances to Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayana Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Dayata Udirai
Tato Jayamudire
Nasta Prayesu Bhadresu
Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttam Sloke
Bhagavate Uttama Sloke
Bhaktira Bhavati Naistaki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naitiki.
We'll have a little bhajan before we start. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Jaya
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari
Yashodanandana Vrajadanandana
Yashodanandana Brajayanaranyana
Yashodanandana Vrajadanandana
Yashodanandana Brajayanaranyana
Ramana Tira Vanachari Ramana Tira Vanachari Ramana Tira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Om Vishnupad Paramans Parikacharya Satarasat Sri Abhay Charnaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Sansar Bhagacharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Namo Om Vishnupad Paramans Parikacharya Satarasat Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Thakur Ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki So like we said, we'll be doing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3, Slok 15, again which describes one of the incarnation of the Lord. Srimad Bhagavad Gita 1.3.15, the sloka goes like this. Rupam sajagruhe matsyam chakshuse didi samprave Devi aropya mahimayam apada vaishnavastam manum Rupam sadagre matsyam chakshusodadi samprave Navi aropya mahimayam Apada Vaishnavastam Nanum Rupam Tadagruhe Matsyam Chakshusodati Samprave Nayaropya Mahimayam Apada Vaishnavastam Manum. Anybody like to recite it? That's fine. Okay, so we go to synonyms. Rupam is form. Saha, he. Jagre, accepted. Matsyam, of a fish. Chaksusa. Chaksusa is the name. Chaksusa. Udati. That's water. Sampleva. That's inundation. Navi. On the boat. Aropya. Keeping on. Mahi. Is the earth. Mayam. Drowned in. Apadam. Protected. Vaivasvatam. The name is Vaivasvatam. Manum. That's Manu, the father of man. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. When there was a complete inundation after the period of the Chaksusa Manu, the whole world was deep within the water. The Lord accepted the form of a fish and protected Vaivasvat Manu, keeping him on a boat. Purport. According to Sridhar Swami, the original commentator on the Bhagavatam, there is not always a devastation after the change of every Manu. Now this is very little technical sloka in a way, because understanding Manu Manam Vyavastam. So as we go along, it will clear up. But for now, we accept as it is. So purport says that according to Sripad Sridhar Swami, the original commentator on Bhagavatam, there is not always a devastation after the change of every Manu. And yet, this inundation after the period of Chakshusa Manu took place in order to show some wonder to Satyavrata. But Sri Jiva Goswami has given definite proofs from authoritative scriptures like Vishnu Dharmottara, Markandeya Puran, Harivansa, etc., that there is always a devastation after the end of each and every Manu. Srila, so there is a contradiction right here. Like Sripad Sridhar Swami says, there is not always a devastation after change of Manu, while other acharyas are saying there is a devastation. So we'll discuss that as we go along, that why two acharyas differ on same issue. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti has also supported Srila Jiva Goswami, and he, Sri Chakravarti, has also quoted from Bhagavatam all about his inundation after each Manu. Apart from this, the Lord, in order to show a special favor to Satyavrata, a devotee of the Lord, in this particular period incarnated himself. So Lord incarnates himself. That's basically it. But there's a lot of understanding to be done on these Manu aspects, Manvantaras. So, well, this verse is again, like we said, from first canto, and specifically it refers to Matsya Avatar. Basically was the first out of those 10 avatars. Matsya Avatar was the original avatar. So number 1 avatar was Matsya Avatar, the fish incarnation. Now, during the great flood at the end of Chakshusa Manvantara, Lord Vishnu appeared as a giant fish to save Manu. The 7 sages, seeds of all plants, and the Vedas. So, the 2 things we can understand. This whole verse is about Matsya Avatar of the Lord. This is the basic story of Matsya Avatar in this particular sloka. The detailed Matsya Avatar and the Matsya Granth and all this, Matsya Puran, all these aspects are discussed in Canto 8, Chapter 24, and that's very much detailed. But initially, right now in all incarnation, we are getting into the basic stories of every avatar. So this is one of the reason why we'll be touching with the basic aspects of it. Okay. What is interesting is, Bhagavad itself is a spiritual lamp. It's, you listen Puranas, Katha, the ancient literature, Vedas, we have to listen it by mind. It should not be by thought, by logistics, by intelligence. Because in religion, there is not much intelligence in it. You use mind and you used to have a faith and shraddha, faith and trust. That's how you listen these stories. Otherwise, you are always puzzled because intelligence or buddhi uses logics to understand something. And sometimes to understand is Matsya Avatar and Vara Avatar and all this. For even our generation or even the young generation, sometimes they are questioning, what Vara Avatar has to do with God, or what Matsya Avatar has to do with God. And naturally, this kind of logics eventually clears up when we study Bhagavatam. But you have to apply mind to it. You have to have a spiritual faith. Intelligence, fine. You do intelligence in social dealings, in Maya. So intelligence you use in Maya and social dealings where you can use more logic. But when it comes to religion, when it comes to the kathas, you have to use mind because you have to have a faith. You have to have a trust in whatever we are listening. Because it is said, Satyam Param Dhimahi, it is said as an absolute truth by our rishis who have experienced this. Their feelings are in these scriptures. And scriptures itself, in literature, we call, the God itself is in our literature, in our scriptures. So, Lord is not impacted by modes of nature. Lord has performed all his pastimes, and those pastimes were all written, experienced by our rishis. So this is one thing we have to clear up, that in religion you use spiritual faith. You use mind, keep mind up front, and intelligence you use in social dealings and maya. Then you can use mind. Well, further, just like histories have their way of presenting history, poets, authors have their way of expressing. Same way, Vedas and scriptures by rishis have their own wisdom to use rupaks and analogies. Like you must have heard Bhakti Devi and her sons Gnan and Vairag. I mean, there is Bhakti Devi is personified. It's a rupak. And then you have a Gnan and Vairag as their children. That's again, the whole rupak, the analogy is explained because to understand this complex spiritual world, our rishis have used a lot of rupaks at the time. Why fish? Why they have Matsya avatar, very first avatar, why they have used fish? There are some reasons to share. That one, it is a evolutionary symbol. Bhagavatam avataras list matches life's progression. Like first we have a fish, then you have a tortoise, second avatar, then you have a boar, then man lion like Narsimha avatar, a dwarf, Vaman avatar. And human is naturally Ram, Krishna, everybody. So Matsya, when life begins in water. That's what Matsya is first used, because life begins in water. Philosophically, fish is a silent and always moving. The Lord is silently guiding the creation even in chaos. That's one applying the, not logic anymore. We are just understanding as it is, that only a fish can navigate in a flood. And God takes exact form needed for this situation. He meets us in our problem. So how this happens? Well, let's see now this, go to the verse again. That in this was the appearance of Vaivasvata Manu is described. Now who is Vaivasvata Manu? Is the incarnation of God. Vaivasvata Manu is the incarnation of God. First was a Swayambhu Manu, you must have heard, from Brahma was Swayambhu Manu, Brahma itself. And the seventh now is a Vaivasvata Manu. Right now we are in seventh, as they call seventh Vaivasvata Manu. Now how many Manus are there? Out of, like they say, in a one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. So just stay with me because it's getting a little more technical. That as we know, there are 14 Manus within the day of Brahma. Now out of the 14 Manus, this is the 7th Manu in current years, which is in progress. Right now, if you ask the right Acharyas, right now we are in 7th Manu. And there are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma now. You know, one day of Brahma means millions of years. Right? As we know, there are 14 Manus within day of Brahma. Now, out of their 14 Manus, this is the 7th Manu. These Vaishnavat Manu, after another 7 Manus, that will be all finished. Means after 14 Manus, there will be annihilation, right? We have learned in the chapter 1 and chapter that you have a creation and then you have annihilation after Brahma's one day. Now how long is Brahma's one day? That's the thing. There will be another devastation after one day. And this is the law of nature. I mean, why that? We don't know. Every one day after Brahma's one day, there will be devastation of nature. So as per Vedic history, Brahma's one day is over millions of years. Brahma's one day means 1,000 times of the yugas. There are 4 yugas. The yugas means Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga and Kali Yuga. So, Satya Yuga's duration is about 18 lakh years. Right now we are in Kali Yuga, which is like 4,32,000, 4.32, out of which 5,000 years has already gone. Because after Krishna has gone, after 40 years, the Kali Yuga has started almost. So, what is happening is Satya Yuga's duration is about 18 lakh years. So the next Treta Yuga's duration is about 12 lakh years. The Dwapar Yuga is 8 lakh years. These are all solar years. Kali Yuga is in progress, which we said will be 4.32 lakhs years. So the calculating of this time, all these years, is time is all relative, That is the latest theory of scientists, law of relativity. Like years ago, when the first Sputnik was started, it took like 1 hour 25 minutes to circle the Earth, and by that time there were 3 days and 3 nights. So within 1 hour of 1 hour of journey of the Sputnik, it was 1 hour 30 minutes. These days it is even going 16 times. With the new spacecrafts, it's 16 days and night passes by the time it makes a one round, 1 hour and 35 minutes, something like that. It's all detailed calculation which we are not here to calculate, but this is all science of relativity, because 100 years of Brahmas and 100 years of ant and 100 years of germs, they are not all same. 100 years of ant is not as 100 years of ours. So this is all relatively. So similarly, time calculation in upper planetary system, the time calculation is different. So depending on the distance, speed, etc., the relative timings are different. So Brahma's one day means 43 lakh of years for our calculation. And in one such a day, there are 14 Manus. We said Manus are there. So in 43 lakhs years, there will be 14 Manus. We said already 6 has passed, we are in a 7th Manu. 7 more Manus and it's all over. But that 7 Manus will take another, so out of 43 lakh years, I think we already passed what? 6th Manu. So we still have we are in 7th Manu. So that's how the calculation goes, that we still have lakhs and lakhs of years. I don't know who will be around. But so this Vaivasta Manu means at the present moment, the president of sun planet is called Vivasvan. The sun is known as Vivasvan. His name is Vivasvan. And because his son Manu, Vivasvan Manave Praha, the Bhagavad Gita was spoken long, long ago by Krishna to sun god Vivasvan. That we know, it says in Gita, that the Bhagavad Gita was spoken to Manu, the sun god. So, just like, first of all, it is said that Chakshusa Manu. Similarly, next it is Vaivasvata Manu. So this is Vaivasvata Manu, is the son of a god. So there are two kinds of Kshatriya family within this planet. One is coming from the moon and other is coming from the sun. So we know Suryavanshi is Rama, Chandravanshi is all covered as Krishna. And the first person I mean to say is first father of the Kshatriya family was from sun. Because when the whole thing was created, the first Manu was sun. So sun is and his first son is Manu. And his name is Vaivasvata Manu. And because he is the son of Vivasvan, therefore his father's name is also added. It's like, we have many states, there is a system. I know in Gujarat it is. If my name is Gautam, my father's name will be following. So Gautam Keshavalal, it goes like that. Same way years ago, the son of Vaivasvan is a son, and his son was Vaivasvat Manu. So he was called, Vaivasvat Manu. So just learn that the sun represents solar, it's like a male-like nature, The sun is hot, it's tempered, it's active. And moon represents more lunar, female-like nature, sun is always hot, disciplined, tempered, very active. And I don't know, this is just, it's said that like moon is very cool, flexible, emotional, silently active, romantic. So Lord Rama is Suryavanshi and Maryada Purushottam. When you look at Krishna, he's always playing Leelas. There's nothing, no Maryadas. All Maryadas is broken by Krishna. And that's how he made all his Leelas. And they were powerful. Ram is Suryavanshi, is a Maryada Purushottam. Well, according to karma, there are different species or forms of life. We have aquatic species, animals, birds, 8.4 million species, humans. But they have got all facilities to live. Everybody has what they want. The birds have what they want. Aquatics has their needs are met. Our needs are met. Everybody's needs. They have all facilities. So that is God's creation. Madhyakshana prakritiya siyata characharam. The direction is there that this living entity wanted a body to swim in the sea very jubilantly. So now he has got the body of a fish. So whatever you desire, right? That's basically it. Well, this whole story, we just understood now, very quickly refreshing that in the whole cycle of a one day of Brahma, which is almost 43 lakh years, there are 14 Manus. And among the 14 Manus, we are running in the 7th. It's called Manvantara. The Manus period is Manvantara. So we are right now in 7th Manvantara. So there is a story and a version of Matsya Leela. Now from there the things get a little more clearer. That Vaivastha Manu was a king whose name was Satyavrata. Vaivasvata Manu was a king, and his name was Satyavrata, and he was a great devotee of the Lord. The kings in old time, they were all. One morning, while doing his ablutions, bathing for spiritual purification, one morning, because he was doing tapasya, Satyavrata was very, very high-level king and very tapasvi. He was only drinking water during certain tapasvi periods, like we do Nirjala Ekadasi and stuff. So he was doing this tapasya in the river. It was actually in the southern India, Dravid. I think it was Karnamula River. I don't remember the name of the river. But he was doing tapasya in the river. So every morning, while he was doing this tapasya, bathing and for purification ritual, a tiny fish appeared in his palm. So when he saw this tiny fish, he was just wondering, because he is now doing prayers and suddenly the fish comes. Now years ago, this is Satyuga. They can understand animals. Animals can understand. So the fish is now talking to the king. He's telling, I am in a danger here. In this river, there are many big fish and this, that, and I cannot handle it. So can you please help me, and take me out from here? So king said, but why you want me? He says, no, please help me out. And, he begged, the fish appeared in the palms and begged him, please protect me from this bigger fish. So the Satyavrata, Manu, later he becomes a Manu, but right now Satyavrata king, he put in his water pot, the jug he had, so he takes the fish, he puts the fish in the pot. And the minute he puts the fish in the pot, and by the time he comes out from the river, the fish grew all the way. And now the fish is, it's the size of the pot. He moved it to a pond. He thought that the fish says, I cannot fit in this jug, When he put the fish was small, it grew just like that. So he is now wondering what to do. So he says, no, I cannot fit in the pot. So, years ago there were water wells and stuff like that. So he takes the fish and he says, well, I'll put you in the water well. So he puts the fish in the well. By the time he puts the fish in the well, the fish again grew in the size and won't fit in the well. So fish is now telling, now we have to understand that fish is communicating to the Satyavrata, who is a very devoted king, let's say. So when it became, again, grew in the pond, he said, he took it from the well and he put it in the pond, like a lake type thing. He said, well, now what? And then by the time he puts them, slowly he knew by the end of the day, she grew almost like a lake. He said, something is wrong. He was surprised. Everywhere I put, this fish grows. He said, now let me do this. Now king was, he was in dilemma. He said, well, let me put this thing in ocean now. So he takes this fish. Now don't tell me how he took it, but that's how the Puranas are saying, because I don't know how you would put this kind of fish in the ocean. But anyway, he takes the fish, that's how the stories goes in Purana. Said, this fish he takes into the ocean, and before he puts in the ocean, he said, don't put me there. There are all kinds of, crocodiles and sharks and everything, they will kill me. Please save me, he said. So he decided to put in ocean, but when it became so gigantic, Manu realized this is not an ordinary fish. He knew that there is something going on because he was a devotee. And he said, you are nothing but please reveal yourself, who you are. And that's when God says, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because he was a very loving devotee and there was something to come, he had to save him. So what happened? By mercy of the Lord revealed himself. In 7 days there will be a great flood. There will be a great flood and it will submerge all over the earth on Bhurvahasva. Out of, we have like 14 Bhavans, the Sarglok, Patallok and everywhere. But this in Bhurvaha means 3 loks. This water will flood this and it will submerge this. So what I'm going to do? Well, you will be submerged too. So this is what I want you to do. Build a huge boat. Boat was to be built by earth, using earth. And it's build a huge boat, but take 7 sages with you. 7 sages, why 7 sages? We'll discuss that. 7 sages, take seed of all plants and all Vedas and make sure you take them all with you. I will come as a fish with a horn. After 7 days, Lord is saying, I will take Matsya avatar, I will come as a big fish, like you saw me now. And I will have a horn on it. I will be a golden fish. Recognize that I will be a golden fish. This thing. You will tie a boat, make a boat. Boat, we said, will be like a whole earth where 7 sages will be there, all these seeds, the plants, the Vedas, everything will be there. Well, what he wanted was, he wanted to protect king, knowledge, Vedas, and his devotees, of course. So he says, take 7 seeds of all plants and Vedas. I will come as a fish with a horn, and you will tie the boat to my horn with a Vasuki serpent, the Vasuki Naga. So he says, take a Vasuki Naga, tie Vasuki Naga behind me, the fish. A fish will have a horn, that is himself, Matsya avatar of the Lord. And they tie this, the Satyavrat king will take 7 sages and all this. And when flood came, the Matsya appeared, this golden glowing with 1 horn. So Manu did exactly as he was told. He tied with serpent. For years the boat was tossed in a cosmic waters. Brahma's night, we said, is so many lakhs of years. Now this is time of relativity because sometimes this is 6 months there is 1 day here. Almost. Now if you go further in Venus, it's not the same calculation. So this is all time relative thing. So when the flood came, Matsya appeared golden glowing with 1 horn. Manu did exactly as he was told, and for years the boat was tossed in cosmic waters, but anchored to the Lord. Because it was anchored to the Lord, this is the main point. Because the boat was anchored to the Lord, it stayed safe. Matsya was Lord, Supreme Personality himself. So Matsya also taught Manu that Matsya Purana during that time, he taught, because like we said, 1 day of Brahma is 43 lakh years. Now this was, the annihilation was not, it was a partial annihilation. It was not a complete annihilation. This is where Acharyas were differing. Like we saw earlier, that Sridhar Swami said that this annihilation is partial and it does not happen after all manvantars or after all manus. Yeah. So Matsya also taught Manu that Matsya Puran during that time, when waters receded, a new age began with Manu as its father. Now we have to remember the Satyavrata king, after this Chakshusa Manu, as we told earlier, was in a sixth Manvantara. Chakshusa Manu was sixth. So when that annihilation was over, the next one was seventh. That's where Satyavrata king was. Now, Manu is like a title. 14 Manus, so he's like Prime Minister. It's every 14 segments. Why 14, I don't know. Now, why 7 days? I mean, even Lord gave him 7 days so he can have the vote prepared. Sometimes we say 7 days. Parikshit had 7 days. 7 days because we meet every 7 days for our Bhakti Vriksha. So I mean, 7 days significance, I don't know. You can relate to anything, but Lord wanted 7 days given to Satyavrata. So he prepares. See, now there were two Matsya avatars. In the past, there was a Matsya avatar. That Matsya avatar was basically, the Harigriva. Harigriva was a demon who had stolen all Vedas from Brahma. When Brahma's night, Brahma was sleeping. He took all the Vedas away. Now when Vedas is gone, Dharma is gone. There is nothing left. Veda is the total knowledge. Veda is what everything. So when everything was gone from Brahma, Brahma was concerned. And that's when Bhagavan takes a Matsya avatar and he runs after this demon called Harigriva. That is a different pastimes. That pastime had happened in the time of, I think, the initial Manvantara. But this particular is Matsya avatar we are talking. That is Vivasva Manvantara. So that's a different thing. But there were two Matsya avatar in our Puranas. The first Manvantara was when the Vedas were stolen by this demon. Harigriva, because he knew if he takes Veda, there won't be anything left for Dharma or anything. And Brahma won't have anything to preach about. So that's where God had helped him. And all these stories of Matsya Avatar and Puranas are in Canto 8, like I said, verse 49. The 14th one annihilation is called a full annihilation. And partial annihilation is only, the mountains and everything is not destroyed, like all Himalayas and all this, they stay. The only thing gets destroyed is the entities, species. So, Bhuvavaha means partial annihilation. So the acharyas have difference. Sridhar Swami said it's only partial annihilation and it doesn't happen after each manu or after each manvantara. He said that doesn't happen. And our other acharyas, they are saying no, there is a complete annihilation. The complete annihilation means one day of Brahma. But there are 14 manus, so 14 times during the Brahma's day. Every time there is no annihilation. So the overall favor is that Manus at every Manvantara does not destruct fully. It's like Brahma sleeping for a few hours because 43 lakh years is one day of Brahma. Right? And here we are only talking partial annihilation. So it's not for a full day because 14 times that's going to happen during Brahma's days. So these are the things that, teaching, why 7 days, like I said, we basically, Parikshit even also asked Lord, that why God took a Matsya avatar. So it's about Matsya avatar. Well, Lord not only, Lord is not impacted by modes of nature. To preserve the creation, rescue Vedas and protect humanity from pralaya, catastrophic deluge or Vedas, God takes the form. He takes the form that fits the task. Similarly, for flood or such protection, he performed the Matsya Lila. Matsya Lila is because the water is the first necessity, right? After the air, our first necessity is water. So aquatics, that's where this Lila is taking place. So Lord is not impacted, like we said, by modes of nature. Similarly, so he takes a different, but like, our Hindu literature, I don't know, like we say Varavatar, let's say, just to understand. Why Varavatar? Now, how do you explain somebody why Bhagavan became Varavatar? Well, why boar was chosen to lift the earth? You know why the boar? Boar is actually what the wild pig is. So, because the nature of boar is, it is a task for lifting the dig up in the mud. So cosmic water in Rastara, only tusk animal can dig it out. So the way our acharyas, the way our rishis explained, because this boar loves the muddy water, boar's home is in swamp. So it's an incredible strength. Boar can lift 5 times its weight. So it is trying to give you a magnitude, the idea that, which represents the cosmic level. The neck has a strength. Yeah. And that's why we said Vara Avatar. Vara means basically it's lifting the earth from the water, right? And it keeps it on this tusk. And it can pull it out. It's easy for him because it's used to dig in the mud. So it's a representative. Vara Avatar means we saw Vara, but basically that's the way we can only explain that, it lives muddy water, the tusk for lifting. So Vara means, otherwise if you look logically, Vara means is the best or excellent. And Aha means to kill or strike. So literally what it means is one who can tear up the excellent or digging up Bhumi Devi from cosmic mud. That's why it's Vara Avatar. Same way Matsya Avatar. In the flood, to protect us. In the flood, the fish can move faster. So it's trying to give you that kind of a significance. So basically Matsya, let me see where we're running, because the 14 Manus, I'll be running out also. So Matsya is the first of the 10 main avatars, shows the God will to adapt. He enters the problem in the water to solve it. Vaivasta Manu is the son of Vivasva, the sun god. Current mankind comes from him. That is why we are called Manavas. Manu means Manavas, for Manushya. And he represents the ideal leader. He is obedient, he is dharmic, he is surrendered. Saptarusi, the 7 sages. Why 7 sages is that important? They preserve the Vedic knowledge. The whole knowledge, the Saptarushis. Because years ago there were no books or literatures, right? All these rishis had grabbed all Vedas in their mind and expressions. So he represents the ideal of obedient, dharmic, surrender. Saptarusi, the 7 sages, they preserve Vedic knowledge. It means the wisdom survives these catastrophes if God protects it. Satyam param dhimai. It is absolute truth and it has to be protected. And years ago the way it was protected was only by rishis. Even when Britishers wanted to kill the Indian talents and system, first thing they said is kill the ashramas, no gurukuls. Let's have schools. Let's have some curriculum. They didn't want all this. When the Bihar, this Nalanda library, it was burned for 40 days, I think it kept on burning, right? And a lot of Vedas, they just pulled out and said, try to remember as much as you can, otherwise we'll destroy all this. So Britishers even tried to kill our scriptures because they said as long as scriptures are there, India will be like Vishwaguru. Everywhere theologically nobody can match what Indian rishis have done. That applies in mathematics, in welfare, in psychology, whatever. This is one simple example also where God himself becomes the fish and telling him, Satyavrata king, that I will protect you. But just make sure you hang on to me. You know, the fish doesn't have a hook, but he made the horn and he said, put the serpent and tie and stay there. And he stayed there till this partial annihilation was over. And during that time, the seven sages, who were also in the boat, they were lighting up with the knowledge. And Satyavrat was also fulfilled with this. So, same thing, the Hayagriva stories, which is a side story, which we don't cover on this one because this is not part of this sloka. But the demons stole the Vedas during Pralaya, and Matsya killed him and recovered the Vedas. The Lord saves both the people and the knowledge. Lord saves all devotees and he saves the knowledge. So core lessons to learn basically is, this verse connection is in real life takeaways, advanced preparation. Lord warned Manu 7 days earlier. Parikshit was also warned 7 days. When we have Bhagavad Saptas in India, it's called 7 days. Everything somehow relates to those 7 days for preparation of the Divas. Because the spiritual life, building your boat before the flood is sadhana, study, sangha. These are not, it's not only for good times, it is for all the time. Meeting 7 days is for all the time, not when the flood comes. So anchor matters, Navya Aropi, placed on boat tied to horn. In crisis, don't just have a boat, make sure it is tied to God. This is unaided morality or therapeutic drift. Preservation focus, saved Manu, sages, seeds and Vedas. God's plan is continuity of dharma. Your struggle aren't pointless. You are being carried to the new age. So in Chakshusa Manvantara was almost finished and the next came was this other Manvantara. So the pralaya, the partial dissolution of water was done in Chakshusa Manvantara also. So Lord as a Matsya, Vivasa Manu, 7 seas, all plants and all Vedas were saved. The Lord appeared as a giant golden fish with one horn. Manu tied his boat to the horn with Vasuki serpent. Matsya towed him safely through the flood. To save Dharma, Manu became the progenitor of mankind in the next cycle and Vedas are preserved. So preserving Veda was a big challenge throughout the years. Even in Satyuga, all these stories are from Satyuga, not Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, just forget Harinam, Harinam, Harinam Kevalam. That's what later we will see what we learn from this teaching is Avtaras appears with the cosmic order breaks. No random, precise timing. And what it represents, I don't know. The flood will represent something like chaos, ignorance in our life, material entanglement, situation where we feel drowned, We have problems where we don't know what to do. Well, we have a golden fish. We tie to those things. The God will lead you the way. The boat is all our scriptures. What is our boat? Our boat is scriptures. Our spiritual practice or satsanga. This is our boat. We are in the boat. As long as you will stick to the boat and don't wait for the time of flood. So, keep us afloat in difficulty. And what is the horn? Horn represents something like direct connection to God. Now, we are directly connected. If you are a devotee, you are directly connected. because you are following scriptures, because you are following disciplinary actions given by ISKCON. So we are all the time connected. Manu is a sincere seeker. Manu means thinking being, represents a human who chooses dharma. Knowledge and potential. The Lord does not just save the people, He saves the culture and the future growth. When your world floods, tie your boat to God. He doesn't remove the ocean. He navigates you through it. The ocean cannot disappear. The crocodiles and sharks won't disappear. The only way we can be saved is by sticking to the law. So what is for us? God is a proactive. Matsya appeared before Manu even knew that the flooding was coming. The Lord protects devotee even before they ask. The Lord knew the flood is coming. Satyavrat did not know. King Satyavrat did not have any idea of this flood coming. But Lord knew it. That's why Lord appeared as a fish and tell him that be prepared, in 7 days I'll come back again. Right? So God is proactive. Preservation over destruction. In Pralaya, everything could be wiped out. But the Lord chooses to preserve knowledge. Right people, devotees. He wants his devotees, he wants his people. Because that's how he survives the whole earth, the atmosphere. He has invested in continuity, not chaos. Take shelter in a fuel. Manu did not try to swim. He followed the Lord's instruction to build the boat and surrender in crisis. So, when everything connecting to Bhagavad Gita, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharat, right? So this God comes up whenever there is a need. You don't have to, He knows what people are going through, what we are going through. So this is Krishna conscious movement, Prabhupada says, giving you the right information that if you do not want to be carried away by the waves of Maya, material nature, then take this to the consciousness so that the time of your death you will change this body to Krishna's planet. That's what Prabhupada says. Prabhupada says this is something to learn even from these stories. Stick to it. You will change consciousness so that time of your death you will change this body to Krishna's planet. Golok Vrindavana, Takta Deham Punarjanma, Naiveti Sodana. Means Janma Mrityu Dara Vyadi. Janma Karma Chame Divyam Yovedi Tatvata, Takta Deham Punarjanma. So Takta Deham Punarjanma. Krishna says that the Krishna consciousness movement giving the right information that if you do not want to be carried away by the waves of Maya, the material nature, then take this consciousness so that the time of your death you will be taken to Golok Vrindavana. Vedic laws are not like that. Krishna says you cannot change. 5,000 years ago, Krishna said, Sarva Dharman Paritajya Mamekam Saranam Vraja Hatvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshishyami. Simply surrender to me. And we are preaching the same thing which was taught 5,000 years ago in Vedas, in Gita. I mean, the absolute truth doesn't change. If anything changes, it is not a truth anymore, right? The truth cannot have a limitation and change. The truth is the truth and it's absolute truth. So then the Krishna is the authority. And we are learning from the perfect authority. Everything we are learning here is from the perfect authority. So perfect knowledge that we are learning. So what we are learning is perfect. We are not imperfect. Because our source is perfect. So that's what Prabhupada is saying, that no change, nothing. We are preaching the same things. Then how Krishna is authority? So change means imperfect knowledge. There is no change. Perfect knowledge. Time permits. Stories of two fish. It's like two fish in the ocean. And they are trying to ask each other. It says, hey, I just heard two people on the ocean shore. They were saying, ocean is so beautiful, so vast. So this little fish heard this man, professors, talking. That, this they're talking about some ocean that is so beautiful and it's... so he goes to his mom and asks his mom, He said, have you seen ocean? These people were saying it's so beautiful and this and that. I've never seen that. So mom says, well, I know we are alive because of the ocean, but I have not seen the ocean. I know we are in the ocean, we are alive, everything is there, but I have not seen the ocean. Same way, then he goes to professor fees. He asks them, look, I heard people talking that there's a great ocean, this, that, and have you seen? He said, no, I have not seen the ocean. What I'm trying to say is this ocean is so beautiful, but we cannot see it. Why? Because if the fish comes out to see this beautiful ocean out of the water, can she live? Can she survive? No, the fish cannot survive without water. Similar is our story also. We say it everywhere that, those who are atheists or whoever it is, they will always say, well, we are there because there is something, there is some God. Now, whichever God, for a Christian it is Lord Christ, for us is this, for Muslim is Allah, for this is that. Everybody says that we are there because of him, but we don't know where he is. Well, in our case, we got great traces like Prabhupada. We know where our God is. We know we cannot live without our ocean. And our ocean is Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Any questions? Any question, reflection, comments, anything welcome, because subject is so tricky.
So Prabhu, I have one.
Yes.
At the initial talks, you said there is a contradiction, right? Sridhar Swami said that there is no annihilation at every Manus, but other Acharyas says that there is always annihilation. So how do you reconcile those?
Okay. So, this is in the purport of Prabhupada. Very clearly it says, the Sridhar Swami, original commentator of Bhagavatam, says there is not always a devastation after every change of Manu. Means in Brahma's days 14 Manus are there. That means there is 14 devastation in the day of Brahma. So Sridhar Swami says that's not true. If there is a devastation, it's a partial. Only in certain areas, certain this, that. And now other acharyas, like Jiva Goswami, they are also great acharyas, right? And so it's a different time when they study this different, like Vishnu, Dharmottara, Markandeya Puran, every has, based on time, their opinions are different. And when two acharyas are different, I don't know how to explain that. The only way we can explain is, we only know our Acharya today is Prabhupada, so whichever way he teaches, that is our man. That's the way I look at it, because there is no any explanation here. It only says there is a big contradiction. And even when I read the other, tried to search it out, I couldn't truly find any answer also. There also they are saying same thing. That acharyas differ does not mean they are wrong. Depending on time and environment when they preached or practiced or whichever Purana they were following, their opinion may be also somewhat valid. So, yeah, your question is right. This is one of the puzzle of this whole sloka, which is explained in purport also, that there was a difference. And there is no clear explanation.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anybody else? Questions? Reflection?
A question, but I got message from Murli Keshava Prabhu. Saudamini Mataji, wife of Radhaneshwar Prabhu in Mayapur. She passed away a few hours ago.
Oh,
So he wanted me to tell you.
okay.
Well,
So I'm not sure how many of you know Saudamani Mataji? How many? many of you know Ravindra Prabhu?
Oh, yeah, but not so long.
No, Ravindra Prabhu, right? So he was associated with ISKCON Philly for almost more than 40 years. He was the president there, he was the GBC, and he's initiating spiritual master also in ISKCON society.
Yeah.
His Grace Ravindra Prabhu. So they were there in ISKCON Philly for almost 40 years. The building which you see right now. So the new building was not there at that time, but so they did a wonderful service, in propagating Krishna consciousness through ISKCON Philadelphia. And Saudamani Mataji also. They are one of the senior most Srila Prabhupada disciples. Very senior most.
They are the one who run the whole show for 40 years, right?
Yes, so they took care, and specifically, because Ravindra Prabhu was traveling very often, and Saudamani Mataji was the one who took care of the ISKCON temple management and all the other activities happening at ISKCON Philadelphia. So many people took her blessings also because they were very anxious to know about her activities and her pastimes with Srila Prabhupada. So she used to explain it very nicely, and we all got encouragement at that time. So I had a very close relation with her also for many, many years. So it's very sad that she left her body, but we'll all pray 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Grace Saudamani Mataji ki jai. So we are very sure that she is traveling back to Krishna. So based on her, in Mayapur. They moved to Mayapur a long time back.
When did this happen? Saudamani Mataji?
Now, a couple of hours back.
Oh,
Couple of hours, right?
Yeah.
That's what he said. Yeah.
Even Ravindra Swarup also is not.
Yeah,
he also is having problems.
Yeah.
What that is, he can't remember anything.
Yeah, he is Alzheimer pretty much.
And he is a very great scholar in ISKCON society.
Oh, yeah.
Bensalem Prabhu. He has written several books himself. He had a very close association with ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. Okay, so they are very great souls. So they left to India and they were staying there for a while because they are very old.
Long ago, Prabhu, they were there in our temple, I remember.
Yeah, not long ago. It's not too long ago. It was just, no. It was 10 years at least. 10 years back. They were more than 10. Yeah. So it's very sad to know, but it is what it is. She had some ailments actually.
Both of them.
Yeah, both of them. Okay, thank you very much, Prabhu. So let's say big time Haribol to Prabhuji for wonderful session. Haribol. Yeah, it's little technical but very interesting.
Small thing. I remember 2 years ago I was in Mayapur. And it was a big festival. And when I used to be a brahmachari in Mayapur, that time it was very simple, not many people. But nowadays, lakhs of people, it's very crowded. So, since I know Ravindra Prabhu, not so much, but I have heard about him, and quite a few times I heard his lecture in Mayapur here in Philadelphia. I think I saw him before. I came from New Vietnam for preaching purpose, so 2-3 times we stopped and we saw him. So, in Mayapur, in a Panchatattva temple, security guard, they had put fence and everywhere. They were not letting anyone. And Ravindra Prabhu, since he's like old, he wanted to go, he wanted to be away from the crowd. And the security guard is saying, no, nobody can go. He was requesting in English. Some other, I saw this. And this security guard, he didn't let him. And I went and I told security guard, you want to lose your job? He said, Why I'm going to lose job? Let him go. Otherwise you're going to lose job right now. You know who is he? No, I don't know. Let him go, I'll explain. And then he let him to go, and then he asked, who's he? He's a Prabhupada disciple, he's a guru from America. If anybody, management, they come to know that you didn't let him to go, oh, Prabhu, he saved me. And then second incident, he doesn't know local language, and local people, they try to cheat. A local rickshawala. So he used to stay in a Rasamrit Kunj, a little far from, maybe 2 kilometers away from Mayapur. So all Guru Sannyasis, they live over there. It's very peaceful, green place. In Mayapur, it's very crowded. So he wanted to go there. They're standing. And then again, he saw me, he said, hey, Prabhu, how are you? That day I wanted to thank you. You have got some power. I told him, no, I don't have any power. He said, the security guard, he listened to you. I don't know because I told about you. Yeah, but can you help me? What? I need a rickshaw to go. Where? Samrit Kunj. I told yes, no problem. Any rickshaw, they were coming, they were just passing me. I stopped on it, sir. And I told him, take this Prabhuji. And don't cheat him. How much you supposed to have? Only that much. What is the price? 50, 60 rupees, Prabhuji. I told him he will give you more. He's American. So when I told him this thing that he will give me more, he said, Ravindra Prabhu said, I paid every day 200 rupees. Every day? Yeah, they charge me 200 rupees. So rickshaw wala guy, he heard this thing. He took him. Next day he asked me, Prabhuji, I didn't take any money. I told why? Because he had been cheated by many people. So third time he met with me and he said, you were very kind and you have got some power again. I told him, this is not the question of power. But somehow I was very fortunate to help him.
He used to give talk after Arati, right, Ravindra?
Oh yeah.
Every Sunday.
Regularly.
Yes.
Regularly when he was there.
Yeah, I have heard him so many times.
Yes.
I mean, I'll say one thing, that how fortunate these people are. Everybody is going to pass away one day. We, our kids of our kids, nobody is going to stay in this world. But these people, they have served Srila Prabhupada. We are very busy at present. But after death, or tomorrow, or next week, or next month, next year, what is going to happen with us? We don't know. But the person who is engaged in the service of Krishna, they have bright future. So they are so lucky. They had a Srila Prabhupada, Acharya. Like Srila Prabhupada was a realized soul. Srila Prabhupada said again and again, unless you come in contact with the self-realized sadhus, you can't be convinced. You can't get bhakti. It's very difficult. But self-realized soul can embody you. So these Prabhupada disciples, you see, American, right? Indian people, who is convinced, who is very serious? I mean, normal young people you see everywhere. Nobody is there so serious. But these people, like, if you sometime I hear Tamal Krishna Goswami lecture, when he was young, his lecture is like so powerful. So Ravindra Prabhu, you see in a Rath Yatra, if you see old videos of Ravindra Prabhu, how actively he is busy, he is engaged in the Rath Yatra, organizing Rath Yatra and running Hilajidar, because of the association of Srila Prabhupada. Because Srila Prabhupada was self-realized, got realized. So these people, they came in his contact and they became so convinced, so serious. Like Murli Prabhu was telling about Jayadratya Maharaj. I asked him, hey, how was Maharaj's trip at your home? He told me. The first question he asked me, do you have a lota? In a bathroom. So he told me the first thing Maharaj asked me, do you have a lota in a bathroom? How serious they are. How seriously they have adopted our culture. It's all because of Srila Prabhupada. Whatever Srila Prabhupada was doing, they learned and they adopted in their life. So they're very lucky, very lucky. I mean, everybody has to pass away. They are like Mataji passed away. Prabhuji is in old age and anytime he can pass away, but they have got perfection. Who just recently, I heard about Badrinarayan Prabhu. Badrinarayan Prabhu. Before he passed away, he gave lecture somewhere and he said boldly, I don't have any regrets and I'm very happy that I have given my full youth, my full life to Srila Prabhupada. He was so charmed and so happy, so blissful. No doubts. It's all because of Srila Prabhupada. Even we are lucky if we sincerely adopt the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, then no problem. Srila Prabhupada says, who Brahmanand Prabhu wrote later to him, I have this obstacle, I have this problem, this problem. Srila Prabhupada says, I can kick out, with one kick, I can kick out all the obstacles from your life, provided you follow my instructions. So if even we are very lucky too. What is the population of this Bensalem city? How many people are there? Out of all these people, only few are here. We are very lucky. So even if we sincerely follow Srila Prabhupada's teachings, we will get perfection. Haribol.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhu, same thing about Tamal Krishna Prabhu. During Rath Yatra, there were no Rath Yatras allowed. Prabhupada told Tamal Krishna Prabhu to go and get a permit, but that time the Rath Yatras were banned in New York. No more parades. So Tamal Krishna Prabhu says we cannot have Rath Yatra, but Prabhupada says, well, Vaman took 3 steps and took the whole universe, Vaman Shankar. So he said, you go with my blessing, you talk to the mayor. So they go and talk to the mayor. The mayor said, parade we have banned. So Tamal Krishna Prabhu, we are not doing parade, Prabhu. We are going to have a 3 hand-driven carts, no tableaus. 3 hand-driven carts, and we are going to give a free food to everybody in the city. So mayor says, well, I never heard a hand-driven cart and free food in those days. So very first Rath Yatra was approved by Tamal Krishna. They ran to Prabhupada and said, we got okay on it. Since then, nobody got any Rath Yatra permit in New York.
Tamal Krishna Goswami, he was sincerely empowered by Srila Prabhupada. There is one incident.
Yeah.
Here in America, Srila Prabhupada was visiting, and Srila Prabhupada wanted Tamal Krishna Goswami to go to India. So then Tamal Krishna Goswami says to Srila Prabhupada, I'm preaching, I'm very busy here. He says, what nonsense preaching? What is the meaning of your preaching? What you are doing? How you can prove that you are preaching? What is the result? And since he was empowered by Srila Prabhupada, he understood the mind of Srila Prabhupada and he was prepared. So he had 12 devotees outside, new people, clean shaved with a tilak and dhoti, kurta and everything. So then Tamal Krishna Goswami says to Srila Prabhupada, yeah, proof is there, Srila Prabhupada. What proof? Then he called all the devotees one by one. One by one, everybody came, they paid obeisances, and then all 10, 12 devotees were inside. Srila Prabhupada, ancient sadhu, if you see, nowadays there is an embracing and hugging thing, but Srila Prabhupada never hugged anyone. We don't see. So when Srila Prabhupada saw this 10 bright faces, young American with a clean-shaved head and tilak and dhoti kurta, Prabhupada was very, very much impressed. And then he told, I'm so happy. You all can go now. So everybody left. Then Srila Prabhupada got up, went to Tamal Krishna Goswami. Very tightly he hung him. He said, I'm very much pleased. This is what preaching. So Tamal Krishna, he was sincerely empowered by Srila Prabhupada. Sincerely.
Thank you, Prabhu, for sharing that. There are unlimited pastimes with Srila Prabhupada and his very foremost initial disciples in 1965 until 1978, right? So we can talk on and on and on. So that is where my recommendation was that we need to have Super Saturday. Remember, I spoke about it many times. We'll have to have a special program called Super Saturday. We used to have that in Philadelphia, Sconfili. And Ravindra Prabhu was the one who approved us to have that program. And that's
So what happens in Super Saturday?
it got discontinued after 2 years actually.
Is that different from the Sunday?
Yeah, it is different from Sunday feast because Super Saturday is used to happen on Saturdays, and we used to invite all Srila Prabhupada disciples, okay, very old senior disciples. They come and they talk about Srila Prabhupada, okay, how they interacted with all the memories, sweet memories, and then we used to hear Srila Prabhupada's lecture. It's a video lecture. Okay, and then nice, wonderful feast, Super Saturday. It's a beautiful program, so we want to get it back if possible. And Balabhadra Prabhu was the backbone for this. They still have it in Atlanta, even as of now. They have it in Atlanta, yeah. It's very nice to talk about Srila Prabhupada, isn't it? To talk or hear about him. Yeah, so thank you, Ras Chaitanya Prabhu. Thank you, Gokulananda Prabhu. So, upcoming events this Thursday, which is another 4 days. So it's a very auspicious day, very, very auspicious. Appearance day of Lord Narsingadev. So there's a big program at the temple, ISKCON Philadelphia. Please visit if you can. Then after that, so next Saturday we are going to have big festival here. Same festival, Narsingadev, Appearance Day. So please don't miss, block your dates, and there'll be nice drama from kids. Many of the kids are not here because of weather and other reasons, but there'll be nice drama. So you all saw last year drama, right? Do you remember that? Remember?
Last year, this day.
Last year, Narsingadev.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah. I was not Narsingadev. I was the bad guy.
In one of the plays, long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that was in ISKCON Philly, but last year we had here also. It's a beautiful program. So Narsingadev DT will be coming, that day, and there'll be Pushpa Abhishek, Kirtan, drama, a nice lecture. I'm planning to invite some special guests. I don't know myself who it is, but there'll be some special guests. So now we'll hear Srila Prabhupada's quotes for the week. Prajna?
April 19th. Devotional service must continue under all circumstances. This material body is a bad bargain because it is prone to suffer, but we must make the best use of this bad bargain. That means to always be engaged in the service of Krishna without fail. April 20th. Cleanliness is next to godliness. This point should be very carefully observed. Then you will advance very quickly to the perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness. April 21st. I am very glad to learn that you are doing spiritual activities very nicely, and you are always alert to see whether you are committing some offense. This is a very nice attitude. In rendering service to Lord Krishna and his representative to the spiritual master, you should always maintain this fearful attitude, which means careful attention. This attitude will advance you progressively in Krishna consciousness. April 22nd. Nowadays, people are very fond of diving within the water and swim. This has become a fashion, so next life they are going to become a fish. Yes, if you swim at the time, if you at the time of death, if you think that how to swim very nicely within the water, that means next life, nature will give you a fish life. You get it. That is God's mercy. Why are you artificially trying to become a fish? You will actually become a fish. That is nature's gift. April 24th. If there is little pain in the finger, I become so much disturbed because I have got intimate connection with the finger. Similarly, we have got intimate connection with Krishna, and we are fallen. Therefore, Krishna also feels little pain, and therefore he comes down. Krishna is feeling pain, so you become Krishna consciousness. Then Krishna will feel pleasure. April 25th. The difficulty is sometimes Krishna's Ashirvad blessing may be just the opposite. Krishna will take away, so at that time they become atheist.
Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. So now that you know how to become fish, don't practice. We need to become devotees and then go back. No more bodies, isn't it? Yes. Any kind of body, no more. Thank you. La prasadam nama mahaprasade govinde nama brahmane vaishnave kalpa punyavatam rajan vishvaso naiva jayate sharira vidyaja jarendriya taheka jiva file vishesagare tara madhya jivati lobomai sudurmati take jeta katina samsare Krishna Barodayamai Puribhara Jiva Jai Swaprasadana Dilovai Seya Namrita Pao Shri Radha Krishna Gunagao Prem Rako Chaitanya Jai Nimai Jai Nitai Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Radha Krishna Mahaprasadam ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you very much. Thank you online devotees. Hari Bol.